All right, guys, we're gonna get started. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Joelle Fontaine. I am the managing director over at the Fairmount Innovation Lab, and we are hosting this amazing series for personal finance and business finance as well with Jenny Jafar. Jenny, you on? Say hello.
Hi.
Hi. So Jenny is actually one of our alums from the lab. What we do, we are a co-working space, but we are also a resource to small businesses. So we have an accelerator program and a number of different resources, workshops like this. During COVID, we did a lot of online workshops. Right now, we have an online marketing series that's going on that started last Thursday. That's on anything from branding down to like devising up your own marketing plan to analytics and email marketing. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely touch base with me. I'll share the information with you. We'll have our second session this upcoming Thursday. We're doing everything from health and wellness, yoga, meditation, to things that are very practical like this as we are gearing towards 2021. 2020 was a crazy, crazy year. A lot of our plans were derailed. So really looking forward to this upcoming year, this last quarter, and how we can best position ourselves to be successful in 2021, which is one of the major reasons why we had Jenny come in to do this workshop. She is, like I said, she's one of our alums, Surplus Financial. She can tell you a little bit more about her business, but these workshops, we've been able to do them this entire season throughout COVID as well, free of charge to you guys due to a lot of great partners and sponsors. One being Upham's Corner Main Street. They are sponsoring all of our workshops for the fall. So we appreciate you guys being here. We hope you get a lot of value out of this, and definitely I'll make sure that everyone who RSVP that you guys get on our mailing list to just find out about everything that's happening with us. But definitely reach out to me if you guys are interested in being part of the marketing series. So Jenny, I'm gonna let you take it from here. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you, Joelle, and thank you so much for this opportunity. I am so excited to be with you guys tonight. Really quickly, I just want to see who is in the room. So I want you guys to comment in the chat box your name and what are you looking forward to when it comes to this workshop. And while you guys are introducing yourself, saying what's up, hi, I am going to start sharing my screen, okay? And can you guys hear me okay? Thumbs up, cool.
I would say too, while you're sharing your screen, Jenny, if you guys want to unmute yourselves and share a little bit about yourself, that'd be cool too. And if you want to share your screen, so that we don't feel so alone in here.
Hello. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Lance.
My name is Lance Jackson. What I'm hoping to get, well, first and foremost, thank you guys for hosting such a workshop. I think this is something that Black people need to really start taking into consideration when it comes to budgeting. I think it goes hand in hand with saving. And so I'm really hoping to get a better understanding of how I can budget, some tips and tricks, so we can start building up some wealth, figuring out how we can build some wealth. I think this is one of the first steps towards it.
Come on, sir.
What's up, Jenny?
Hey. All right, so we have Stephanie who's saying, I'm looking to leave this having more clarity on the necessary steps to set up my personal finance, to prepare the same for my businesses. Come on. Ashley wants to work on consistency and future planning. Oh, you guys are so good. Being more fiscally responsible, how to stick to a budget. I love it. So I'm gonna get started because my PowerPoint is pretty meaty and I do want to leave off at least 30 to 40 minutes for you guys to ask me questions. So hi everyone, my name is Jenny. I am the founder of Surplus Financial Consultants. which is a personal finance and credit education company that specializes in taking the stress and shame out of managing your finances. And I am going to start off first with setting down some breakthrough objectives. I believe that in order for us to really understand what's the overall goal for this session, we want to be on the same page. So my 3 objectives for tonight is that we decrease stress levels when it comes to managing your personal finance. The participants will know the core principles in setting up a successful and fulfilling budget that sticks. And number 3, participants will be able to list one clear step to start or improve their budget. You guys can hold me accountable for these 3 things. Okay, so at the end of this, when I say, did I complete the objective, you got to let me know whether that happened. All right. If you guys see me looking down, I am on my laptop clicking the PowerPoint. So in the beginning of the PowerPoint, I shared with you guys this image of my little sister. And my little sister is my why. She's part of my why because when I was in college, I didn't have anyone. I'm a Haitian, whoop, whoop, Haiti in the building. And I'm the first of 3. So I was the first to go to college, the first to deal with FAFSA and all of its cousins, first to get a credit card, first to get a car, first to get a repossession, because I'm gonna keep it completely buck in this here workshop. So I wanted to part of the reason why I entered into finances is because I wanted to create a space where my sister had someone holding her hand in the process of building wealth, because I believe that wealth is a community activity. It should not be a single person that's, pulling, getting beat up really by life because we don't know the do's and the don'ts. So your why matters. And for us to start off this workshop, I'm going to share one of my favorite videos with you guys. And then really quickly, after that, we'll just jump right in. Okay. So this is one of my favorite quotes. It says, when you know your why, your what has more impact because you're walking in or towards your purpose. All right, let's see.
But the key really isn't to know what, the key is to know why. Because when you know your why, you have options on what your what can be. For instance, my why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. My what is stand-up comedy. My what is writing books. My what can be going out with some friends to eat. In fact, another what that has moved me towards my why is a web series that we have out now called Break Time. So every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, you should subscribe to the channel. We do a series called Break Time on YouTube. We drop a new episode. One episode in particular, I'm about to show you a clip to. We were in Winston-Salem. So Break Time, this is how it works. I travel the country, I do stand-up comedy, probably an hour and a half at an event. And in the middle of my show, I'll just sit down and start talking to the audience. And funny just happens. Or I'll meet somebody who's really interesting. So I met this one guy, and he said that he teaches music at a school. I was like, all right, you teach music, can you sing? And then I'm just gonna show you the clip. Check it. So you're a musical director.
Yes,
cool.
sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet
the sound that saved a wretch like me. Wow. That bro could sing, you know what I'm saying? All right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Right now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. So here's the thing. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time I asked him to sing, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what has more impact because you're walking in or towards your purpose.
Come on, somebody. Y'all know that was powerful.
Nah, that was crazy. Nah, that was, oh man. Oh, he spazzed out.
I have to agree. I was clapping in the hospital room that I am right now. I said, yes, I feel blessed. That was amazing.
All right, let me get here to this PowerPoint bag, but you guys keep going. So what did that tell you guys about the importance of your why? You can either comment in the chat or pull up and give me your thoughts outside of Lance. I saw y'all because I was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You better sing this song.
It's the difference between singing and sang. He put his all into it. He knew the reason for it. He had the background story to where he needed to be able to have he had a vision. And his vision was to bring everything he had into the moment.
Come on. One more person. Don't make me call out somebody now.
Right. The other thing I think I noticed really quickly is that the first time he sang, he was just showing you that he could do something. And then the second time I felt that he was doing it to minister. Like he was actually, bringing people in. This is for you guys. The first time I was like, this is what I can do. This is for me. The second time was, this is for everybody else. So I thought that was amazing.
Beautiful. That is exactly what I want you guys to get when you think about budgeting, when you think about creating a vision for your money, because that's what budgeting is. Let's do full screen. All right. That's what budgeting is. I think if I was to tell you guys, what should you be doing right now with your budget, majority of you guys will list out the things, the technicalities of it, right? I should be saving a portion of my check. I should be not spending money on my credit card. You know the technicalities of how to budget, but the reason why we oftentimes don't budget effectively is because we're not attaching ourselves to the core money principles. And right now for this workshop, I'm going to share core money principles that I believe in. Number one, you start with where you are and what you have. Y'all, pet peeve is when someone's saying, when I'm rich or when I'm this. Well, let's start off with what is in your hands, because what you have is in your hand is what's going to bring you wealth, not what you think is going to happen down the road. So principle number one is start with where you are and what you have. And if you guys haven't figured it out yet, I'm going to be talking and you should be taking notes. I say that with a smile. Point number two, find the core. And what I mean by that is find your why. Find what is going to be the driving force of why you're going to sacrifice certain things. And number three, set up small plates. I'm going to explain it that point specifically further down, but set up small plates. Now, principle number one is find your core. I believe that, again, going back to the video, when you know your why, your what becomes more impactful. So people fail overall in life, but specifically when it comes to budgeting, not because they lack the desire, but people fail because they lack the knowledge. The reality of it is you guys have to understand that money is attracted to vision. You get provision for a vision. So if you find that money keeps disappearing from you, I would say to check your vision. What are the things that you are doing? What are the vision? What's the vision that you have? And how clear are you about that? How clear are you on writing it down to make sure that you are aligning your money to that vision? Does that make sense? You guys can give me a thumbs up, show me. Cool. Awesome. So we are going to jump straight in, and that is with how do you get aligned with your vision? You take inventory. What do you have? And what I mean by that is three component. What skills do you have? Well, really two. What skills do you have? What relationship can you grow in order to build wealth, right? A lot of us, we think that, hey, you know, I have to figure this out. The fact that you guys are here tonight means that you are attached to someone that shared this with you to say, hey, come here, because you can grow a wealth of knowledge that will impact your wealth journey, right? So what do you have? What skills do you have that are easy to monetize? A lot of us downplay our skills, right? So if you've been in HR and you see hundreds of resumes all of the time, you have the ability to figure out, to clarify what's a good resume and what's a bad resume. You can easily market that, right? So think about, what do you have? What do you have in your home that you can sell, right? What's the cost of your current life? So when you take inventory, you should know on a monthly basis, how much do you need in order to survive? And what does that mean? It means your fixed bills that covers your shelter, your food, your transportation, and then those are the core fixed things. Think of the Maslow hierarchy. And then the other things that kind of variable expenses. So Netflix, Hulu, you don't need that, but you could have that. You should know the number that you need in order to survive, right? And then you should know the slim, like the slim, like ramen noodle slim version of that. You guys remember college where you made ramen noodles when you were waiting for that paycheck. So the slim version of what it costs for you to maintain your current life. And then the last is you should know what's the cost of your dream life. A lot of us, we talk about, hey, I want to own this home. I want to have this car. I want to be able to travel, right? Do you know the cost of that? Do you have the number written down? Because you can generate those numbers and you're saying, hey, this is what I'm aiming for. This is what I'm working towards. Because the clearer you are on the vision, the sooner you can attract the provision. So again, the clearer you are on the vision, the sooner you can attract the provision. I don't know if you guys realize, but you are having a slight church session. We started off with praise and worship. We are now in the word. So the 3 reasons why people struggle with budgeting, really quickly. Number 1, your budget and your values don't match. People spend money on things that honestly is not very important to them, but because we don't oftentimes take inventory on our finances, we find that our money is going towards things that's not important to you. I guarantee you, if you were to send me your bank statement, I can tell you the top 3 things that were a priority for you for the month of September. And then you get to tell me whether or not those were true, but your money is going to say what the truth is. For me, if I was to show you guys my bank statement, personal development and debt, getting out of debt are the 2 priorities on my list right now. And it shows, okay, on my bank statement. So your budget and your values need to match. The second thing, friend, that is not boring. Travel and investments, come on. If that's boring, let me be boring, okay? Let us all agree to be boring. Number 2, budgeting based on money you don't have. The reason why majority of people end up living paycheck to paycheck is because they are taking into account money that hasn't been deposited into their bank account. If it's not in your bank account, it's not yours, friend. It's not. I'm sorry. Even if you worked for it, until it says cleared in your bank account, it's not yours. So we should not be budgeting the money that has yet to be deposited into our account. If one thing COVID has taught us is that security on the next paycheck is not a guarantee, right? And number 3, the third reason why people struggle with budgeting, procrastination. I'm gonna be completely transparent with you guys. That was my struggle.com. I was big to say, oh, I fell off. Let me start off back on the 1st. I'll start back up on the 1st. Anybody else like me? Say you'll start back up on the 1st. Marquita said, yay. This is family. We in the community. We being honest. It's honesty that will set us free, okay? So the moment of truth. We talk about the struggles. Let's have a moment of truth, like family and friends. 1, you can't budget pennies. I'm not that financial coach that will tell you to cut out every single thing, because in reality, if your income does not cover your living expenses, you can try to budget as much as you can. But the reality of it is pennies are still pennies. You need more income. So point number 2, making more money is a must, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's picking up more hours, that is a must. And I actually am big for side hustles because I don't believe your income should be coming from just one place. So I believe in having 7 to 8 streams of income. This is for all of my ladies. I think the guys are better at this, but I'm gonna say this specifically for my ladies. Negotiating your salary is required. Y'all, it's a skill set. You have to develop it. You have to know how to barter when it comes to your salary. Come through, okay? And number 4, if you can't stick to, I can't stick to a budget and I overspend. That's oftentimes because, again, you have to align your vision. So the reason why you're overspending is because your vision is not clear. So budgeting as we know it, it doesn't work. How many of you guys have seen this kind of like budget situation where you have your projected income on one side, you have you've seen this. If you Google, you've seen this, okay? This budgeting as we know it, it doesn't work because oftentimes what ends up happening is people are so hands-on on the numbers that they get overwhelmed, and then eventually your brain is going to cause you to stop whatever is painful. So you're going to back off, or you've been so extreme that eventually it's kind of like you fall off the wagon on a weekend, and then you wake up looking to your bank account and you're like, what happened? What happened? Okay? That it doesn't work. Your money now looks like this. You have random expenses like car repairs, clothing, gifts, travel, and your money dials that go up and down. It's not determined. It just comes, ebbs and flows within your finances, right? And then you have spending for day-to-day stuff. So that's you eating out or ordering Uber or just little things day-to-day that just accrue, which looks it's very consistent. And then you have your income, which is fixed. It comes on either a bi-weekly, for some people even monthly, and others weekly basis, right? But as you guys can see, this looks like, I don't know if you guys are in the health field, but this kind of looks like a very scary health monitor, right? But this is the reality for the most of us. Our money looks like this in our bank account, which is why I have my TLC, Tender Love and Care budgeting method, because you can't control when life happens. However, you can control how you respond and feel it financially. So my step 1, right? This is part of the take inventory, is to set up your money calendar. So how do you do that? You list out every bill that currently comes out of your checking account and their due date. So you list out every bill that currently comes out of your checking account and their due date. Step number 2, you get organized into 3 power categories. Those 3 power categories are reoccurring expenses. Sorry, y'all. Day-to-day spending. And number 3 is non-reoccurring and random expenses. I'm gonna take a quick water break and let your fingers catch up. Are you guys with me so far? Let me know in the chat. I'm gonna look in the chat now. If you are with me, give me a thumbs up. While I get some water. Shannon said yes. Marquita, Latanya, Victoria said yes. Awesome. Mel said yes. Awesome, awesome. So first step is we set up our money calendar. The second is get organized into 3 power categories. I'm going to break down each of these categories for you guys, okay? Number 1 is the fixed and reoccurring bills category. You guys remember that money calendar in the first step? What you're going to do is you're going to continue with that list of your bills, their amounts, and their due dates. And you're going to put it in due date order. That sounds very simple, but you would be surprised how many people don't know which bill comes first every month and act surprised when it does. What this does for you is it helps you to see the timing of your expense versus paycheck. So you can see it in a full view. Instead of like paycheck to paycheck, you can see the full month. It makes paying bills quick as a glance. For me, I know that my 2 heavy bill weeks during the month is the 1st and the 3rd week of the month. So because I know this, I plan accordingly and how I spend how I move my money, right? And then this can allow you, the first of the month, this allows you to pay bills when you get paid rather than on your due date. This is gonna sound silly, but this was my truth. I didn't know that you could pay a bill before the due date. Is that just me? Years ago, I felt like I had to wait for the due date to pay a bill. That is not true, you guys. Not only is it not true, another fact is you can actually change your due date for certain bills, right? Because the sooner that you pay, okay, Latanya is on my wavelength. The sooner that you pay certain bills, the less interest that accrues on that bill. So when you set up your money calendar, if you see a bill that's just out of order, you know that bill that just comes on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, like a random day, and it's just out of order, you can actually call your provider, your financial provider, and request to see if that bill can be shifted. Or you can just set up an auto payment or a bill pay and have that bill paid in advance, right? So that frees you. So if you see that on 1 week, you have like 6 heavy hitters, you can plan it out that you pay a bill in advance so you have more breathing room. Does that make sense? Comment yes if that makes sense. Awesome. All right, y'all, we going into the second power category, day-to-day spending. For you to organize this section, you have to determine how much you need per pay period. And the category that falls really heavy in day-to-day spending is actually food. Eating out or gas, those 2 are primary for day-to-day spending because when I worked, my day-to-day spending was the vending machine. Y'all, those little $1 snacks accrued really fast. So for the power category, You determine how much you need per pay period. And then you take this out. Hold on, y'all. Let's let Asha catch up. My computer, my internet. I don't know if you guys have been dealing with the same thing where your internet just is not happy with you. So Joelle, I might need you to tag team in, friend.
All right, let me see if I can pull it up.
Please hold. While you're holding, can you guys let me know? Is something, has one thing, have you, whoa, words. Hold music, please. Did something pop up for you guys? Is something, have you taken away something as of yet? Oop. I feel like I'm back on, but I also don't know. Comment in the chat, y'all. All right, Joelle, I'm gonna try again.
All right, I have it up, but I don't, so you're gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try again. Okay. Asha wants to behave, so we just be on the standby. Flow with me, okay? All right.
Who's Asha?
Oh, I named my laptop. My car is also called Fatty because she got a little fatty. I'm corny, y'all. I like naming my stuff. All right, so where was I? I got distracted. Day-to-day spending. So you determine how much you need per pay period, and then you take that out in cash and try not to use your debit card unless for gas. And what I mean by that, like certain gas station, you can get points back, but honestly, take, for example, Fatty, my car, needs exactly $21, and yes, I know this, $21 to be filled up. And if I'm not super active with it, she stays filled up for a week. So altogether, I need $84 a month when it comes to gas. So I can take out that money and put it into an envelope and use that when I am going for gas. So eventually, when you start getting into the habit of knowing your numbers, you'll be able to tell things to the dollar, y'all, to the dollar, to the penny, okay? All right, let's see if she's gonna behave it if I put her on me. Okay, so why do we do this? Taking out cash makes money and spending more real, right? The goal here is not to be perfect. It's to be intentional, because I guarantee you, we've been trained to swipe. But when you have cash in your pocket and you see it decreasing really fast, sometimes you're like, oh, okay, let me just chill. Let me just watch what I'm spending it on, right? Because imagine if you had $50 for the day and you left your debit card at home. You would be really intentional about how you use that $50. Point number 3, it turns random spending into a fixed expense. This is important because if you know that it takes $84 to fill up your tank a month, you're not surprised now, right? So instead of like up and down, that now can become a fixed number on your budget. Now, I know that using cash exclusively can be awkward because, again, things have happened. We're used to holding our card. But I can tell you guys, if you practice 2 days where you carry cash and leave your debit card at home, you will see a significant decrease on how much you spend on a monthly basis. And you could run me on that guarantee, because I've seen clients try to run me and I was like, bet. Janae came out really quickly. I was like, try me, try it. Run it one week, not even a month, 1 week. We'll see how you do. So non-reoccurring and random expenses. These are what I call the whammies. These are the things that actually oftentimes take out your budget. And what I call whammies, think car repair. Have you guys noticed a car repair can never be less than like $200, $300 ever, like at all? Christmas, yes, Lance. Christmas happens every single year. And every single year, it is a surprise how much we spend on Christmas. So these are non-reoccurring and sometimes random expenses. So what you do for this is you determine monthly average for each category. And because Lance shared the Christmas example, for example, last Christmas, the American statistic average of how much they spent was roughly anywhere between $600 to $700 to $800. Certain household, that's how much they spent on Christmas gifts, right? 600, 800 in the month of December can be a whammy for you. But imagine if you had divided that Christmas expense by 12 months. That's a significant less burden on your finance. That's the equivalent of $50 a month. Can you put away $50 a month so that you can spend money on Christmas guilt-free? Is there a mind shift happening for some of y'all? Yeah, I feel it. I don't see y'all's faces, but I feel it. So what you can do for this category is you use your bank statement or financial tools such as Mint to help you get really clear on how much you spend on those random categories. If you create a Mint account, one of my favorite financial tools, there's this little pie chart that tells you all your business of how much money you spend on a monthly basis, right? If you see that there's an average, like on groceries, on average, you spend $500, you can start putting aside, 500 was a lot. That was a big number that I listed. But it's the reality between eating out and groceries. That's the amount of money that some people are spending, right? $500 means, hey, let's put that money aside. Let's put that money into an envelope. And when you have that, you know that that is the money set aside for that section, okay? I'm gonna explain this, but you allocate funds to proper bank account per pay period. I'm giving you guys the foundation so you can understand the system. And then you transfer that set amount on a set date every month, 10th to the 25th. I just chose the 10th and the 25th because they just fall really nicely on the calendar. And majority of bills, if you guys aren't aware, they either fall before the 10th, oftentimes, or around the 25th, if you pay attention to it. Not all of it, but average. Why do we do this? It gets the money out of your primary checking account. I'm gonna give y'all a strong hint. You should have more than one checking account. Because when you see all of that money, when it's deposited into your account, oftentimes you think, hey, I got money, I got shmoney. But in reality, that money, each dollar has a job to do. Each dollar has a job to do. Now, this flow of money in your account, it actually helps you to reach your goals quickly when you set it up in different ways. And I'll share that with you guys in a minute. Give your money a name. See, I'm going to just tag team with LaTanya Maxwell for a workshop because sis and I are on the same wavelength. Number 3, when you have your accounts, your non-reoccurring, and you create different accounts for it, it helps you to save for planned and unplanned upcoming expenses. Okay? And it allows you to create smaller plates in your finances, which decreases the impact of overspending. Remember how I shared with you guys 3 core principles? The core principles to this is set smaller plates. Now, how many of you guys are trying to lose weight? Say yes in the comment if you try to lose some weight. Like COVID is just running you dirty right now. Shantae said yes. Thank you, sis. LaTanya, you gonna plead the 5th? You were on a roll, friend, with me. You can't just plead the 5th. See, Penny? Thank you, Penny. Okay? Now, this is me. This is my truth. This is my truth. I don't do well with managing portions when I have a full size plate. Why? Because I wasn't trained that way. As a Haitian child, okay, I was trained that you fill your plate up and then you just clear it off, right? Okay. Side note, little tidbit, that is not a great just food habit in general. It's something we have to all collectively learn. If you are an immigrant or you have family, there's a lot. We don't measure portions, but I guarantee you, if you have a smaller plate, you are less likely to overeat, right? So if you are trying to lose weight, you guys came for a finance workshop, you getting diet support, okay? If you are trying to lose weight, don't overdo it. Just change the size of your plates, because you will naturally start eating less portion, and give your stomach time to like, hey, am I hungry? Am I still hungry? This is the same concept when it comes to your finances. When you separate your money into different little accounts, you are able to see that every dollar has a purpose and you are less likely to overspend. Did that make sense? I see some nods. I see thumbs up. All right. So now every month starts to look the same. Your paycheck comes in. You pay your bills. You take out cash. And you save for upcoming expenses, because your reoccurring or non-random expenses has now become a fixed expense, and you're putting that money away, right? And you can actually have money left over at the end of the month. I didn't believe it was possible until it was possible, y'all. And this is not to brag, but I just want to share, because I think when you hear testimonies, when you hear stories of other people doing it, it becomes more real. And I was able to do this with $24,000 as like from one job. I was able to do this as a waitress, because I was a waitress at one point, and I was able to do this under a salary position, right? And the reality of it is, once I started doing this, I realized that I didn't have to wait for my paycheck. Like, I wasn't taking a breath and holding it, waiting for the paycheck. What ended up happening in actuality, again, this is a testimony. I get paid from my job, not my business, because I live what I preach. I got multiple incomes, y'all. But from my job, I get paid bi-weekly, right? Currently, the last paycheck that I receive, I haven't touched that because I'm still living on the check before that. Did that make sense? I've gotten to the point in my finances where I can have 2 paychecks deposited into my account in the month before I even really have to spend any of those money. And that's what we are building towards. It's possible. So instead of this, y'all remember heart attack, right? Random expenses, spending day to day, and then your income is just whoop, right? Heart attack. Your income, we now see this. Your random expenses, it's a steady line. Your spending day to day is a steady line. But what consistently comes in and out is your income. Can we just pause and look how serene that looks? Like stressless. This looks. I love it. I'd be like, this is my reality. Could be yours too, right? You're here. We're gonna get this. All right. Come on, Asha. All right. So this is the goal. Now let's talk about emergency funds. How many of you guys have heard, hey, you should be saving 3 to 6 months of monthly expense? Yeah, show of hands. Everybody. But the reality of it is, I don't know why, but that has never like registered to my head until I put numbers to it. So I'm gonna introduce you guys to Sierra. So I don't know, y'all, I have this ice cream truck that comes literally at this time every single day, and it's October. Okay, that is all. Let's meet Sierra though.
They need income also. The ice cream truck needs extra income also. We all are here struggling. So I ain't even gonna hate on him right now.
You know, okay.
Look, as long as he don't play the ice cream song, he's cool in my book. Because the ice cream song has a racial background to it. It's the backstory. So as long as he don't play the ice cream song, he cool.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Let's meet Sierra, y'all, really quickly. This is, I'm doing this slide specifically is because I want you guys to understand what it looks like to have an emergency fund, right? Practically. So let's say Sierra, she makes $59,000 before taxes, right? And her average monthly pay is $3,450 after taxes. Her rent, because she got roommates, she lives in Boston, she can't just, no, okay, is $500. Even that is low, y'all, but we gonna pretend in an ideal world she shares of $1,500 with 3 roommates. So her part of the rent is $500. For food, with groceries, restaurants, and takeout, it's $450 altogether. This is also an area where she this is an area where she can also, I'm sorry, y'all. Asha just kicked me out. Please hold.
Do you need me to pull it up?
1 second. She wants to show up again. Are we back? You see it?
Yep.
All right. Stop, friend. Okay, so $450. Your food category is the category that you have the most control over. when it comes to expenses. It's also the area that your emotions impact you the most, right? So I've learned for me that I actually really like Indian food. And currently right now in my life, I don't know how to cook it. So I make space in my budget to, it's expensive, right? I make space in my budget to enjoy the things that I love. So if I know that I love, sometimes there's a period of time in the month where Indian is just what I want to consume. I can make the Haitian, I can make the American, but Indian is what I want, right? I have guilt-free money that goes towards me spending it however way I want, right? And if I do it and do food, I know that that money was allocated for that purpose, and I eat and I enjoy it, and I enjoy every bite. I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have spent that. No, I allocated for it, so I get to enjoy the fullness of it. Tangent, but transport with car insurance, car insurance and gas is roughly $405. And then for every other thing that kind of falls, the miscellaneous things like Netflix, all that jazz, she spends $850. So altogether, her total monthly expenses is $2,235. For Sierra to have a 3-month well-funded emergency fund, she should have put aside $6,705. If Sierra wants a well-funded 6-month account, she should have aside $13,410. Do you guys see now and understand now why it is important for you to know how much you spend on a monthly basis? Right? This is important. Once I saw that, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. When I wrote this down, I was like, wow, this makes so much sense. Okay, so I'm gonna pause here. Let it sit, let it just, I feel like it's entering for people right now in a way. And you guys can even unmute yourself because the chat is blowing up and I can't fully read it because I'm not trying to handle Asha too hard.
May I give a quick testimony?
Go ahead, testify, sis.
So in July, in May of this year, the day before Mother's Day, I started doing Instacart. In July of this year, I started doing Ship as a side hustle. Ship is pretty much, I go to Target and shop for customers and drop it off, just like Instacart, majority. Long story short, I realized I did a budget plan and I realized that I had more money going out of the house than coming in the house. And I realized the gap that I had financially. With that being said, when I needed to negotiate just recently my pay at work, I knew my income gap. So because I had these figures already in my head and I knew what I needed to make with Ship and Instacart, I was able to negotiate and ask for that much more money.
Come on.
And now all my Ship and Instacart money goes towards my financial freedom. And it's not going for my household bills. It's literally only going now towards financial freedom. But I had those numbers. You got to know the numbers. If you don't know the numbers, you don't know what you need or what you're working with.
Come on and testify on these here Zoom streets, ma'am. Okay? Anybody else want to testify? I got room for one more. Come on. We good? Okay. Ippy, that's it. All right. Let's make it practical. I did not create this method. I use a different version of it, which I teach to my one-on-one clients. But this is another version of the same process that I absolutely love and I think is fantastic, right? You guys remember how I shared that you should have small plates? Part of the reason is to set up this method. Nope, ECB, I don't know if that's your name, that's not your name, but this is setting up your money system. This is the section that we're on. Aaron, thank you, Aaron. This is called the high five banking method. It was created by another woman professional in the finance space that I absolutely adore. She's really great. She's Spanish. I love it. So I'm sharing it with you guys because it is a method that I believe in and it works for some of my clients. So the high banking method, you have 2 checking accounts. One where all of your bills come out of. So think rent, think the fixed bills, the heavy hitters. And then 2, the second checking account is to have any lifestyle stuff come out of this. So for lifestyle is groceries, going out, all of that jazz. And then in this high banking method, you have 3 savings accounts. So savings account number 1 is your emergency fund. Now that we know how much we should be saving towards our emergency fund, you know that number. This account I recommend to being a high yield savings account that's out of sight and out of mind. I be forgetting that I have this account, y'all. So then when I'm like, oh, okay, I do have this account. So some high yield savings account that I recommend are Simply, SIMPL, I think II. Ally is another one. I currently have Synchrony Bank. Right now, y'all, because of what's been going on in our world and COVID, high yield savings account, the interest have taken a little bit of hit, but one of my favorite financial tools, nerdwallet.com. If you go on there, you can look up the different types of, you can look up high yield savings account and it'll give you a list of which accounts have a good interest rate. Okay, so nerdwallet.com. And then for the second savings account, it's for short-term goals. So short-term, what I mean by short-term is something that's happening within 3 to 6 months, ideally, within a year, if you want to stretch it. And then savings 3 can be long-term goals, like buying a home, like, what's a big goal? For some people, it could be getting a car cash. Y'all can tell me some long-term goals that you may have. Starting a business. Come on here, Aaron. Yes, Aaron. All right. I was debating whether or not to show you guys a snapshot of my system, but I don't know if I want to do that because I recognize that for some, it could be overwhelming. So I want you guys to understand this process because this is something, if you start this, it will be helpful. I'll talk about my process really brief. Penny said, do it. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm actually gonna give you all the tea. There is no fear. It's just, I also don't know how to hide the numbers to the account on Zoom live. Like, I don't know how to. Don't challenge me, Aaron. okay? But I will talk about it. You guys get ready, because this is the last slide, and after this we have Q&A. Joelle, am I doing good on time? Because you know I don't be paying attention when I'm presenting.
You are at 7:35 right now. You're doing perfect on time.
Thanks, boo. So you guys have space for all of the questions. So I'm going to share this, my system. I'm going to talk my system, and maybe during Q&A, I'll figure out how to show my stuff without, I'll see. No promises. But ready? So my system is, I have a savings account. My money system is on Capital One. And I have a savings account for every bucket of my finances. I love Capital One. Okay, love. Okay, so do you guys still want me to keep this up, or should I stop sharing?
I think you can stop sharing so that we can all, see each other.
All right. Ooh. Hello?
You're here.
Okay. So I stopped sharing, but she's still trying to share. So give her a minute for it to disappear. But so, okay. My system is set up where I have 2 checkings account and at least 7 savings account. So my 2 checkings account is set up this way. I have an income account, and in that account, all of my checks are deposited. Okay. All of my checks are deposited into my income account. From my income account, that is how I distribute my allocations to my different savings account. My second checkings account, I call it, and I name my accounts because I believe in naming your blessings before you see them. We back in church, y'all. Name your blessings before you see them. So I call it my overflow operations account. My overflow operations account is called that because I will always have an overflow to handle my operations. I treat myself, my personal finance, like a business. Why? Because I am a brand. I am a business, okay? Investing in self is one of the best business that you can have. So income account, deposits go into that account, and from there, I allocate to the different savings account. So on a weekly basis, I need at most $250 in the overflow operations account. Okay. On the 10th and on the 25th, automatically, I have money that go from the income account into the different savings. And the different savings account that I have one for travel. I have one for personal training. I have one for gifts. I have one for my tithes. I can never say that properly. I have one for, did I say fun money? Because I believe in having fun money. I allocate fun money. In that fun money, it's scrapbooking, because I love scrapbooking. It's for me to go randomly dancing. Okay, if I love you, I add you to my budget and I put it into my fun money. So when we go out on dates, I go on dates with my friend. When I say run that bill, I know how much I have in that account. Okay, I have I'm missing at least 2 accounts. Oh, one is for citizenship, because I'm going back and forth on whether or not I want to be a citizen of America. That's it. Okay, so on the 10th and the 25th every month, I have money going into these savings account without me thinking about it. I set this system maybe December of last year, and I am able to freely like think about other things. I honestly spend at most 25 minutes a week on looking at my budget, just running to make sure that everything is being used. Now, this is something that I do, and it's a next level, but it took me a while to get this. This is from me. If disclaimer, don't be saying Jenny told me to do this if you don't listen to the part. And Joelle's recording it, and she could be my backup just in case y'all try to run my name. Okay. I have a credit card that is paid off. The key to this strategy is you have to have a credit card that is paid off. Okay, repeat after me. Credit card is paid off. It's on record. I said this. And my credit card is a high limit card. It's $7,500. So what I do is all of my fixed expenses, I place on that credit card, because I get rewards like money for living my day-to-day life. So why not have them pay me money for what I was already gonna pay for? Okay, and then at the end of the month, before the card reports to the credit bureaus my balance, it's paid off completely, because again, I already had the money in my account. Does that make sense? I never miss a payment due date. I have a credit company. I don't play that. But what ends up happening is, because I was going to pay those bills anyway, I had the money for it anyway. What ends up happening is I get actual money on that card, and I use that money for other things. All right. So I'm going to do these last 2 slides, and then we're going to open for Q&A. Stay connected to Jenny. You guys can find me on Surplus Financial. Hit the follow button. I share a lot of free content on my Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn, and I write a couple of articles. I'm actually getting back to it. Thank you, Aaron. Stop. I'm trying to be professional and tell y'all what to do. Stop it. All right. So follow me on these things. This is important, because if you hit follow and tell me, hey, on my most recent post, hey, I was at your workshop, what I will do is I'm an author. I wrote my first ebook, which is Stop Calling Me, a how-to guide on how to get debt collectors off your back. So if you deal with debt collectors, collections, all of that, I have a free ebook that literally tells you how to do it yourself, how to get them to stop calling you, how to negotiate that debt for significantly less than the amount, how to dispute that off of your credit so you can get it off. Because I'm a firm believer, as a credit education expert, that anything that I can do, I want you guys to be able to confidently do so and have the knowledge to do so. So I'm creating do-it-yourself quality content for you guys to have. Don't do it tonight, but I'm gonna tell Joelle this. I will set up a discount code for you guys, so you can get the ebook, and I'll make sure that she has it. So when she shares the recording and whatever for the follow-up, you guys will have access. If you do it now, you're going to pay full price, and I would be super grateful. And if you choose to wait until the thing is sent to you guys, you will also have the benefit of a discount. Now, I am going to open the floor for Q&A. I hope this was very informative. I know this was very informative, and I enjoyed having this workshop. Let us open the floor for Q&A. I'm gonna stop screen share, and I'm gonna see if I could show you my Capital One account. I'm gonna see it. All right, y'all. Floor is yours for Q&A. Feel free to unmute yourself.
Hi, I just wanted to come on here and say I got the pleasure of taking one of your workshops. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was in a library, okay? And I remember that in Grove Hall.
Wow.
And yeah, and the crazy thing is, I'm actually in Atlanta, but I'm still very connected with the resources that Boston had before I had to up and move, spur of the moment. So talking about budgeting is huge right now because I really just moved to a whole nother state and bought my first car and all of these things.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say I was able to do that because you reminded me about having that additional checking account, and I have about like 5 of them, but it really made the big difference because I actually forgot all about it and had thousands of dollars in there. So it's something that it really does work, and I guess it could be a testimony if you want to say so. I didn't follow everything to the T, but I did take some progressive steps. So just reminding everybody to just take some steps because that's better than no steps. So yeah. And now I'm off to work, but thank you for that.
Thank you. I
No.
get really emotional when people say that they do what I say and they're like doing better. I'm not gonna cry, but I'm a thug. I'm not gonna cry. But thank you for sharing. Let's see. I have a question from Keenan that says, why would you open 2 checkings account? I get it from the saving standpoint as you're saving for multiple goals, but why for checking? What's the upside? Can you get into that just a bit? Great question, Keenan. So as I showed you with the high 5 bank method, part of the reason why there's 2 checkings account is one for bills specifically and the other for lifestyle. Now, for the high 5 banking method, that is important. Checkings account for, and I don't know if that's the case for majority of financial institutions, but you can only have a debit card link to a checking account, not to a savings, at least for Capital One. So that's one of the upside. In my specific system, I have two different checkings account. One I specifically name income account because I use that account to allocate money to the different savings. And then my overflow operations account allows me to have my debit card attached to it, and I do all of the lifestyle stuff on there, if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense or if you need more clarity on it. Awesome. Great question, though. Thank you for asking that. So, yes, Ashley, hey bestie, hey Fran, shared, and she was in the banking, she was a banker at one point. She shared that legally, savings accounts by law cannot have a debit card attached to it, so no spending from it. So there you guys know. Oh, another reason, thank you, Mel. Another reason for a savings account that can't attach a card to it is you can only transfer a certain amount of times, I think 5 to 6 times, and there's fees attached to it. Thank you for that.
6 times. You can only take up to 6 times.
Thank you, friend.
If you go into your bank, then, I mean, I don't know if it depends on if it's all banks, but I know with Citizens Bank, since I used to work for them, if you go in there and remove from your savings account, they don't count it. But if you do like transfers from your savings into your checking more than 6 times, they charge you. And that is also a requirement by law.
I have a question. I don't know if this was something already answered or maybe asked a different way. But for example, for like a savings number 2, which is your short-term goals, or for savings number 3, which is your long-term goals, when you saved enough for one of those goals, how do you go about taking that money out to purchase it? Say your short-term goal was a car. Do you just transfer it to one of your checkings accounts and then take that exact amount out?
So I do that, what you just shared. Yes, I usually just transfer it to my overflow operations account and take it out if I just want to take it out through an ATM. But if you don't have an online account, online banking institution like Capital One, you can actually go and just request the money out. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to show you guys my system. So keep asking questions, but thank you, Lance, for asking that question. Anybody else?
So
Y'all got time.
I have a question. How do you go? I feel like I know all these things. I have the knowledge, and having this class today has been like a kick in the butt, really, to just get my shit together. But I feel stuck. I feel stuck for a long time. So I'm glad I stumbled on this on Instagram, literally, today. I own a house. I have a car. I have 2 kids. I have no savings. And I feel like I'm literally living paycheck to paycheck. And I just don't know where to get started. I think the one thing I have taken away so far is that I need an extra source of income because I only have one. So I'm already like looking into Instacart because I started looking into that over a year ago and I stopped. So I definitely need to like figure that piece out. So that I know I have to do. But in terms of like the other stuff, I don't have all these other accounts or any of this stuff set up. So feeling as overwhelmed as I feel right now, what would be something that you would recommend that I could start doing?
Thank you for sharing. And thank you for being honest that, the feeling of overwhelm, because that's a whole thing. Acknowledging that feeling is the first thing. So you already took a first step. You're here tonight, friend. Okay, so everyone, let's just support sis with a round of applause. Come on. You did. You're here. So yay. First step is done. Second step is you shared how you have a home. You shared how you have a car. What you didn't share with me is what your vision is. Remember how I said in the beginning?
I would love to live debt free. I have a couple of credit cards. So
what's the number? You need to
3.
know those.
Oh, the number of like debt freeness? Oh,
yeah.
I don't have that. No. I mean, it would be great.
I
don't know.
What's happening right now, the reason why you're overwhelmed is because you don't have numbers.
Right.
Because numbers bring down the feelings to something. It makes you, and I feel like the moment you said you were a mom, what I heard was you are a superhero and you're going to make it work. You're going to do what you have to do to make sure your babies are all set, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Absolutely. Yes, 100.
The thing about it is every mom needs to know what her villain is. Your thoughts are stay as dreams if they're not written down. When they are written down, that's when they become goals. You say you want to be debt free. What is the debt that's keeping you from freedom, right? Your next step, friend, is to write down how much debt you have. The easiest way to do that for student loans is going on y'all, somebody help me because my brain is like fried right now.
Student.gov? No.
I think it's student.gov, studentaid.gov. Look it up. It's easy to find. And then it'll pull up all of your.
Oh, I know how much student loans I have.
Yeah. All of your credit cards. What if you have debt on your car? List all of that out and have that number. Okay. At first, it's gonna feel like, woof, it's gonna hit you. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna hit you. You gonna feel it. That's not my heart. You gonna feel it right here. Okay. But the thing is, remember what I said. Your provision is another word for money, is attracted to vision. Until you get clear on your vision, you won't have money coming your way. The second thing that I want you to do is to take inventory. You need to figure out, is there a place where I can cut some numbers, right? Can you shop around for a better quote for your insurance on your car? Is there a way to bundle your rates with your home and car insurance? This, you're not your first, because you hear, that's your first step. Your second step is to make it clear, write the numbers down. Your third step is to shop around. Get really clear on setting up your money calendar, figuring out what are you spending a lot of money on and what can you cut down. Start there. And then when you're ready, call me, because I'm awesome and I clarify a lot of these things.
This is helpful. This is really helpful. Definitely a place to start. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think I will definitely be reaching out.
Yay. Awesome. All right, who's next? I feel like playing that song, but I'm gonna resist the urge. Keenan says, can I share the deck? I could share the deck. I'll share the deck. Joelle, remind me to share the deck.
I will. So within the next 48 hours, you guys, I'm going to be sending out a follow-up email that will have the deck. It will have the code that Jenny's wanting to share for the book. It will also have a survey for you guys to share your experience what you got out of this. And we are just about at the 8 o'clock mark. So if we want to take one more question, then Jenny, if you can talk about the next workshop as well, that'd be great.
Awesome. Who's gonna end with their last question? All right, you guys remember the objectives? Did I follow through with the objectives? Did everyone have at least one takeaway?
Hi, I have a question. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, love.
Yeah, so the question that I have is, you know, like I love your presentation always, but how do you really stay consistent? Because it's always like, oh, you finish listening to somebody and you like so motivated and then you want to do so much. And after that, you're like, nah, I'm going to my regular ways. Like, how do you stay consistent? Because I always find myself starting something and after that, especially when it comes to finance and going back to just, yeah.
First of all, y'all, follow this awesome person. Her company is Fusion Dolls. She makes diverse dolls. You see those chocolate dolls in her background? If you have nieces, holiday season coming up, so she got dolls. Get them. Okay. After that, great question. I will say this, and oftentimes, I said it during the presentation, but I didn't pull it out, so that's why it's not that obvious. I am able to stick to a budget because I don't allow my budget to depend on my willpower. Plain, clear, and simple, okay? My budget is not, remember I told you guys that I set up my money system last year around December. I got really clear on my why, but once I set up my money system with automation, so my budget is automated. I don't have to guess. I'm not trying to like, oh, let me remember to put $40 into my fund money account. Let me remember to put this amount of money into my emergency fund. I have no choice. It's automated. Like it comes out like my check is deposited into my income account immediately. There's a portion that goes to tithes. There's a portion that goes into my emergency fund. And I don't have to do that. I set up the system to do it for me, right? What that does is your brain is then trained to think that this is only the amount of money that you can use, because every dollar in my finances has a job to do. When they go to its respective places, for me to take a money out of a savings account, I have to acknowledge that I am taking money out of my travel fund. I am taking money out of my fund money. Like, it's an actual thought, because not only that, I name all of the savings accounts. So I see the name. So the easy answer to your question is, I don't make my budget based on my feelings of motivation, because feelings of motivation come and go. It's not based on my willpower, because let something really cute come by my way and I might just hit purchase, right? I'm a course junkie. I love books. So, okay. My willpower is non-existent in certain days of the month. I don't have my budget dependent on that because it's automated. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. Now, thank you guys so much for sticking with us.
Hold on. Before you go, there was one more question.
You said that was the last one. I was trying to be obedient.
You missed it because she put it in the chat while Woodlyn started talking. It was Lauren. Lauren asked about setting up different buckets. She said, is that something you have to do with a person, or can you do this online?
I don't get the question.
So in terms of setting up actually, is Lauren here? Can she?
Yeah, can you hear? I don't know if it's, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. We weren't sure if it was working or the volume. Like, do you have to go to a bank in person and have them and tell them like what buckets you need or whatever, or is this something that you can just do through online banking?
You can do it through online banking. Like Capital One, I have Capital One. And when I say it takes like less than 2 minutes to open an account with Capital One, it really takes. I'm not even trying to advertise with that for them right now. It literally takes less than 2 minutes to open an account. And I just create like the different accounts and I named it. It took me, the first time around that I set up the money system, it took me roughly 2 hours. But before, and 2 hours encompasses me taking the time to set up my money calendar, to set up a Mint account, to see like, what are the different things that, like the different areas that I'm naturally spending money. Like, you naturally have spending things. Your money is already telling you the things that you love, right? I love personal development stuff. So for me to not have a savings account for personal development means that I was going to leave room for me to blow my budget up whenever I saw a course or a workshop that I wanted to go to and I didn't have money allocated for that. So I just made it a savings account. So so I hope that answered it. I felt like I went everywhere. It's easy to do it through online, but before you start opening these accounts, set up your money calendar, look at your bank statements, and put them into categories. Once you see the categories, you guys, when I say it's going to lift up off of the paper, especially if you use mint.com, you will see where you spend your money and you can create those savings account to create that. So just to make it very clear with numbers, I notice my fun habit is I love to go dancing and I love to go, I love scrapbooking. I call it scrap planning. I have a planner. I put stickers. I'm a nerd. So, okay. So stickers was averaging like $20 a month. Going dancing was averaging $30 a month, right? So altogether that's $50. So what I was doing is twice a month, I had $25 go into that account on the 10th and on the 25th. Now, it doesn't mean that every month I bought stickers or every month I went out dancing, But what that did is that account started to accrue. So if I wanted to go crazy on stickers because I was like, oh my gosh, I accidentally landed on Etsy, right? I was able to do it guilt-free, completely guilt-free, y'all. And it was so fantabulous. We have so much guilt when it comes to money, and that's because we're not putting name attached to that. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I say it now, Joelle? Do you want me to say it now? I don't know where Joelle went.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I was saying please. Yes, you can go right ahead.
Okay, so y'all, I have one more workshop. What's the date? I'm sorry.
19th.
Thank you. One more workshop this month, October 19th. And this workshop is going to be specifically for my entrepreneurs, for my business owners. If you are interested, so I shared with you guys that I have my own company, but my job is I'm a small business coach. Okay, I help small businesses understand their profit, understand their vision so that they can increase their cash flow. And one of the things that I know that a lot of people don't know is about business credit, okay? Your business can establish credit. So in this workshop, I will be teaching you guys as entrepreneurs and business owners, even if you don't have an official business yet, how to establish business credit for your business in order to increase your access to funding. Because if anyone is a business owner, they share with you what's the biggest hang up about funding your dream. And they're like, I can't get access to money. So this is going to be happening October 19th. I'm super excited. I'm so excited. And as you guys can tell, this is my style of doing workshops. So share with your friends, share with your coworkers, tell them to come because I'm awesome. And Joelle's awesome.
That's so exciting. Like I was actually just on the line today with like different banks asking for credit line. I cannot wait for this workshop. Like I'm going to be sharing it on Instagram everywhere.
Yeah, I'm excited too, Jenny. This was an amazing workshop. I learned a lot. I think my biggest thing, you said it best, it's really all about your why. And I can share that, for me, I automated everything probably a year and a half ago, and my credit score has gone up about 200 points. I haven't missed a payment, so it really works, you guys. Like really just automating it, getting those systems in place, because it's everything in life is about systems and just getting that right. So thank you, Jenny. Thank you for just amazing content today. I will be sharing the recording with you guys and also sharing the link for you guys to RSVP for the credit workshop in 2 weeks, right? 2 Mondays from now. All right. Thank you so much, guys. And who was that? Oh, thank you, Shannon. Oh, thank you, guys. All right, so I will see you guys. I will share the information. Please make sure you are RSVPing for the workshop and filling out the survey. All right, have a wonderful evening. Thank you again, Jenny.
Bye, y'all.